Okay, so you've been keeping up with all things AI, right?
Absolutely.
So you know this is a big one.
Definitely a bit.
OpenAI just went live with ChatGPT's advanced voice mode.
It's pretty exciting.
And before you say like, oh, like Siri or Alexa, this goes way beyond setting timers.
Yeah.
We're talking about actually like changing how we interact with technology.
Definitely. This has been a long time coming.
Right.
Remember when OpenAI teased this earlier this year?
Yeah.
And then had to kind of pump the brakes a little bit? Well, it's back.
Yeah.
It's officially rolling out.
It's like they hit the turbo button on AI development.
Yeah.
And to really like understand why this is such a big deal, we need to unpack what makes it advanced.
Yeah.
It's not just that you can talk to ChatGPT now.
Right.
It's how it processes your voice.
This isn't translating your voice to text like those older, clunkier signals.
Right.
We're talking about GPT-4o, which means it understands the nuances of speech directly.
Okay.
Faster responses, fewer misunderstandings, and just a far more natural way to interact.
It's so frustrating because I feel like with those older systems,
Yeah.
you know, you'd be like, you know, you're practically shouting, no, I said play the song, not play the gong.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just like.
Yeah, it's very literal.
Yeah.
Very literal.
So this is aiming to be like.
Totally different.
Totally different.
More like having an actual conversation.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's supposed to be emotionally responsive.
What do you mean?
It picks up on your tone and adjusts its responses accordingly.
Wait, so hold on. If I'm having like a really rough day
Yes.
and I'm venting to this thing,
Yeah.
it's going to know to like tone down the jokes.
Well, that's the idea.
Really?
It's like it's reading between the lines,
Both.
your words,
Wow.
and picking up on those subtle cues that we give each other as humans.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of creepy.
But also really cool.
It is. I mean, we're a long way from AI truly understanding human emotion.
Right.
But the fact that they're even attempting to integrate this is groundbreaking.
It really makes you think about the potential.
It does.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about those voices.
Okay.
Remember the whole Sky incident?
Yes. Sky.
I mean, come on.
OpenAI had to hit pause on that one.
Yeah.
It sounded a little too real.
A little flirty, some said. It was a whole thing.
It's almost like they stumbled into an AI soap opera.
Right.
They ended up having to pull it back because it sounded too much like Scarlett Johansson's voice.
Yes.
Legal issues. You know how it is.
Indeed.
Okay.
So for now, they've pivoted to these new voices.
Okay.
With interesting names, to say the least.
Like what?
We've got Arbor,
Oh.
Maple,
Spruce?
Spruce.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Sounds like they raided a national park for these names.
I could see that.
Okay, I will admit I chuckled when I read that.
Sure.
But hey, at least they're moving away from the hyper-realistic voices that got them into trouble.
Exactly.
Right.
The new voices are meant to be more generic,
Okay.
but still pleasant sounding.
Okay.
Aiming for that balance between natural and clearly artificial.
Right, because we don't want it to be too creepy.
Exactly.
Right.
We've been burned before.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like this balancing act.
It is.
But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really cool.
Okay.
While the voice itself is a big step, these articles highlight that it's just one piece of the puzzle.
It is.
OpenAI is also integrating custom instructions and something they're calling memories.
Yes.
Now, what are memories?
So this is what could really set this apart from everything else out there.
Okay.
Imagine an AI assistant that remembers your work style,
Okay.
your sense of humor, even your personal interests.
Wow.
It learns and adapts to you over time.
It's like having this digital brain.
It is.
That like evolves alongside you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's very sci-fi.
It is very sci-fi, but before you run out and ditch your keyboard,
Right.
there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
This rollout is happening in stages.
It is a bit of a tiered rollout.
Okay.
Plus, and Teams users are first in line,
Of course.
followed by enterprise and education users.
Okay.
As for those of us on the free version,
Yeah.
still waiting for an update on that front.
So if you're a free user, like myself,
You and me both.
we're out of luck for now.
We're in the back of the line.
And geographically, it's a bit limited too.
It is.
Not yet available in the UK and a few other regions. So
No.
if you're in one of those areas, you're going to have to hold tight for this voice-activated future.
You are?
But keep in mind, OpenAI isn't the only player in this game.
Oh, no. This is
Right.
This is heating up.
Yeah.
There's some serious competition.
Right.
Google's Notebook LM,
Yeah.
for example,
Okay.
is already making waves
Really?
with some seriously impressive AI voices.
Okay.
They're already doing things like simulating realistic debates, which
Oh.
is both fascinating and maybe a little unsettling.
Yeah, a little too Black Mirror for me.
Right? It's getting a little too real.
It is, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
First, I want to dig into something that really caught my eye,
Okay.
the personal side of this technology.
Let's delve into that.
Okay.
What stood out to you?
One of the articles featured this guy, Dan Shipper,
Okay.
and his experience using advanced voice mode for self-reflection.
For self-reflection.
Yeah.
And it's not what you would expect.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
So picture this.
Okay.
He's walking down the street, talking to himself, arguing with ChatGPT in his AirPods.
I can only imagine the looks he was getting.
Right.
Like, what is this guy doing?
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
He was using it as a sounding board,
Okay.
a way to process his emotions and get a different perspective on a situation that was bothering him. And it actually worked.
Really?
He said ChatGPT helped him see things more clearly,
Wow.
untangle his thoughts,
Interesting.
and figure out how to communicate better with his girlfriend.
That's incredible.
It's wild.
It
Phil.
speaks to the potential of this technology, not just as like a productivity tool
Right.
or a source of information,
Right.
but as a tool for personal growth.
Yeah.
Almost like having a digital mirror for your thoughts and feelings. It's like having that friend who always gives great advice,
Right.
but available 24/7.
Exactly.
And Shipper's story doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He also talks about using advanced voice mode as a research assistant while reading.
Oh, that's something I'm curious about.
Yeah.
I read that part in the article too.
It's mind-blowing.
Okay.
Imagine you're reading about, let's say, quantum physics,
Okay.
and you come across a term you don't recognize.
Right.
Instead of interrupting your flow to look it up,
Yeah.
you ask ChatGPT for context.
Oh, wow.
And it's like having an expert whispering in your ear.
It's a completely different way of engaging with knowledge.
Yeah,
You're not just passively absorbing information.
right.
You're actively interacting, questioning and deepening your understanding in real time.
Totally.
Wow.
Shipper gave this example of reading about ancient Roman history.
Right?
He came across a name he didn't recognize,
Right.
asked ChatGPT for background,
Huh?
and boom, seamlessly went back to his book.
I can see how that would make learning so much more immersive and engaging.
Totally.
Instead of dry facts on a page, it becomes a dynamic conversation.
Totally.
And wouldn't that make you more likely to remember what you learned?
For sure.
Interesting.
But as with any new technology, especially one this early in development, there are bound to be a few hiccups along the way.
True.
Right.
There are always limitations with new tech,
Yeah.
especially something as complex as this.
Of course.
What kind of limitations are we looking at with advanced voice mode?
Well, for one, it seems like this AI hasn't quite mastered the art of patience.
Oh, really?
Shipper mentioned that it tends to jump in with a response whenever there's a pause,
Oh.
even if you've specifically asked it to just listen.
So much for those, moments of quiet contemplation.
I know.
It sounds like they need to teach this AI some conversational etiquette.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Knowing when to speak and when to listen
Yeah.
is crucial for any good conversation partner,
Right
even
on.
a digital one.
Indeed. And it seems they're still ironing out the kinks with multi-person conversations, too.
Really?
Apparently, it can't quite differentiate between you chatting with a friend
Oh, wow.
versus talking directly to it.
So if I'm on the phone,
Yeah.
it might think I'm talking to it.
I might chime in with some helpful advice.
Oh my gosh.
Or imagine that.
That would be so awkward.
That would be funny, though.
It would be
But maybe not the right time.
not the right time.
Right.
But in all seriousness, these seem like solvable problems,
Yeah.
especially given how rapidly AI is developing.
Agreed. I think those issues will be ironed out with a bit more fine-tuning.
Right.
However, there's one limitation that stood out to me as potentially more significant.
Okay.
Right now, advanced voice mode doesn't have access to all the features that are already available in the regular ChatGPT.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, for instance, it doesn't yet support custom instructions,
Okay.
memory storage,
Right.
or file uploads.
Okay.
So at this point, you're essentially interacting with the base model,
Got it.
which is incredibly impressive in its own right.
Right.
But it does limit the possibilities in a big way.
It's almost like they handed us this incredible futuristic toolbox, but half the tools are still missing.
A very apt analogy. Just imagine the possibilities once those features are integrated.
Yeah.
Imagine uploading a document and having advanced voice mode analyze it,
Okay.
pull out the key takeaways,
Yeah.
or even have a nuanced discussion about the contents with you.
Okay.
Or think about setting specific preferences so it remembers how you like to work.
So it's like basically taking it to that next level.
Exactly, taking it to that next level.
Yeah.
And it really underscores that while voice interaction is a huge leap forward,
Right.
it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
We're on the verge of an era where AI can process not just our words,
Right.
but potentially our emotions, our physical environment, even visual cues,
Okay.
all in real time.
Now we're venturing into science fiction territory.
Right.
It's exciting, but I'll admit it's a little unnerving too.
Sure.
Like, what happens when those lines between human and AI interaction become increasingly blurred?
It's a question we'll need to grapple with as a society moving forward.
Right.
But think about the potential impact
Yeah.
on fields like education therapy,
Okay.
even entertainment.
Okay, paint me a picture. What could this actually look like in those areas?
Imagine a world where learning is no longer about staring at a screen.
Yeah.
You're having a conversation with an AI tutor that tailors its teaching style to your specific learning patterns,
Wow.
adjusting its approach based on your understanding and engagement.
So it's not about replacing teachers,
Right?
but about giving them a really powerful tool to personalize education in a way that's never been possible before.
Precisely. Or think about therapy. Imagine having access to an AI that not only listens with empathy,
Yeah.
but can also analyze your emotional state,
Okay.
track your progress over time,
Uh-huh.
and provide personalized guidance based on vast amounts of data.
That could be revolutionary for people who maybe don't have access to traditional therapy
Absolutely.
or feel more comfortable confiding in a non-judgmental AI.
Exactly. And this is just scratching the surface.
Wow.
Think about the possibilities in entertainment, in creative fields, in problem solving.
It's pretty amazing.
It's mind-blowing.
It's both exhilarating and a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
It
It
is.
feels like we're standing at the edge of something truly transformative.
I think we are.
Yeah.
And it's up to all of us to engage in these conversations,
Yeah.
to think critically about the implications of this technology, and to ensure that it's used responsibly for the betterment of humanity.
Well said. So for everyone listening out there, what's the key takeaway from all of this?
I think the key takeaway is stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
Okay.
The world is evolving faster than ever before, and technologies like ChatGPT's advanced voice mode are a glimpse into the incredible possibilities that lie ahead.
It's really exciting stuff, and I'm excited to see what they come up with next.
Me too. It's going to be interesting.
Well, this has been super fascinating.
Yeah, this was a good one.
See, I always love our deep dives into these topics.
Me too. Always a lot to unpack.
As always, thanks for your insights.
Of course, happy to be here.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.
We'll see you in the next one.